I'm sure many of you remember, I don't have the energy to look for the original TikToks on any of these, but I'm sure you guys remember this period of time where people would go to the grocery stores and then touch the fruits, or they would take them home and then they would like molest the fruits and vegetables and be like, as you can see, this is clearly made out of plastic,
Yet
like
are
these
still
people.
legally sold in supermarkets and fed to your children. People have discovered that several organic blueberries unknowingly fed to babies are extremely poisonous. These blueberries
I don't even know what the voiceover is talking about.
don't rip apart when cut in half and have a reflective surface. Additionally, watermelons that bend without breaking and avocados that twist without breaking have been reported. Reports indicate that consuming these rubbery items can cause severe stomach pain, stroke,
I like how this video is just like spreading misinfo.
stomach blockage, and fatal diseases. Many believe
It's just
these foods
spreading
are fingerprinted
misinfo.
or lab-made. Terrifying.
Ah, lab made. That's how you know that it's bad when it's lab made. Yeah.
Breaking news, plants can bend.
And there's a really good video from that one lady who, there's this woman that does like viral video takedowns basically, and I forget what her name is. She's Australian and she breaks down like food science and she explains like the debunking lady. Yeah, you guys know her. Anne Reardon. Yes, yes. But I think she did a video on like fake fruits and vegetables, or maybe it was someone else. But there was a video that I saw that explained like how the different things inside of a fruit and vegetable change over the course of one, its growth period, and two, the fruits and vegetables that continue to ripen after you take them off the vine or off the tree or whatever. So like mangoes, for example, they will continue to ripen as time goes on, even though they're not on the tree. Same thing with like avocados, and that things fundamentally change inside of them. So like, for example, bananas, if you use unripe bananas that are still a little green in like banana bread, your banana bread is going to taste bad. It's not going to be very sweet because the stuff inside of the banana hasn't changed yet and hasn't like sweetened yet. Whereas the bananas that are covered in like spots, now that's a good banana. You want some old ass brown bananas for that. Yeah, there's like chemical reactions that are happening in there that fundamentally change what's inside of it. The sugars haven't developed. I couldn't tell you the exact science behind it. Every time I read it, I'm like, what is this again? Oh, okay, that's how it works. And then I immediately forget. Starchy versus sugary bananas, yeah. But basically things continue to change over time. And actually, it's not that your food is plastic, but it's that it hasn't, the sugars haven't developed, the fruit or vegetable hasn't ripened, and they fundamentally change. And this has always happened since the beginning of time. Well, we've got a new one, guys. You don't understand. These are my favorite hogs, chat.
This goes up quick. See that? Bread's supposed to be squishy. It goes right up. You know what that means? It's not real bread. This is some real bread right here.
Dude, someone wanted to buy that.
See how it stays down?
Stop!
Try another one. Let's try bimbo. Try bimbo. Look at how it goes up. It's like foam.
Stop molesting the bread!
Plastic. Crazy, huh? Let's try the Wonder Bread. Oh, crazy. This one stays down. This is real bread right here. Wonder Bread is real bread. Crazy, huh?
Like, isn't it fucked up that like half of America would see this video and agree with it? This is like, for example, a good Anne Reardon video on like how food science is.
With how that IS shitty bread, but then he gave Wonder Bread the pass, so fuck him.
let me.
Welcome to How to Cook That. I'm Anne Reardon, and today, due
I love
to
you,
popular
Anne.
demand, I'm going to be testing the Is Your Food Fake video by Blossom. So many of you sent me this video and said, we know it's probably not true, but it's causing doubts.
And this is from 5 years ago. Here we go.
Rat poo is natural and we don't want it in our food. Uranium's natural and it will kill us. The problem with natural is it's actually not been defined by law of what is natural and what isn't when it comes to food labelling.
Rat poop
It's
is natural.
just such a hot debate as to what is and isn't natural, and it gets so complicated. I mean, the FDA in the US has asked for public comment on this. They've been debating this for years now and they still haven't defined it. So that should let you know how complicated natural is. So for the moment, if you see natural on a food label, it doesn't really mean anything. So just flip it over, read the ingredients and decide for yourself. But let's actually do this test. Let's actually get some cheese and a flame and see what happens. Okay, so we'll start with the cheese singles.
Sorry, I skipped ahead to from the part that she showed the video. This one. Wow, it was actually very instant.
Not true, but it's causing doubts. First up, we have cheese. They have processed cheese with chemicals is difficult to melt, and natural cheese melts. Now, there are a couple of things to look at in this video. Number one is the wording, processed with chemicals.
And then you can see she plays it. She shows that, like, actually, no, it has everything to do with, like, fat content in a cheese. That's what makes some cheeses melt more quickly, and that's what makes other cheeses not melt as quickly. Also, there are additives in, like, Kraft single cheeses to make them more meltable. Also, yeah, all cheese is processed.
Fat
It's just
burn. Don't do this at home because you might actually burn your fingers. You have to be very careful. But it does, in fact, burn when it's exposed to an open flame. Now, if we try with the natural cheese in front of the flame, it melts and drips down. So why is that? Blossom have implied by their video that was because of the additives and the chemicals in the cheese singles that it burned. But if we flip over the back of the packet, which is what I'm encouraging you to do, and read the nutrition information panel, then you can see that this one, the singles, per 100 grams has 18.9 grams of fat. Remember that number, 18.9, whereas the natural cheese has a fat total per 100 grams of 33.3 grams. So it's nearly double.
what you mean things that have more fat in them are more likely to melt before they burn? Shocking, I know.
The amount of fat in one cheese versus the other, and it's the amount of fat that allows it to melt and is allowing that cheese just to flow over each other and just drip down. So the video really should look like this. Low-fat cheese burns under an open flame. High-fat cheese melts and drips down under an open flame.
Oh my God, it's almost like the content of the cheeses matters, and you don't just put the processed, evil, toxic foods. Oh my God, and it's the same thing with this fucking video.
Some breads. This goes up quick. See that? Bread's supposed to be squishy. Goes right up. You know what that means? It's not real bread. This is some real bread right here. See how it stays down?
It's more fucking bread, dude.
Oh.
This is the guy. When I go to the grocery store and I'm like, oh, dude, finally, I've been waiting all week to get this bread, and I go reach for it and it's all fucking destroyed and mushed. And I'm like, dude, who is fucking doing this to my fucking bread? It's the last fucking one, dude. Are you kidding me?
Let's try,
It's the fucking bread molester out on the fucking loose.
look how it goes up. It's like foam. We're eating foam. Plastic. Crazy, huh? Let's try the Wonder Bread. Oh, crazy. This one stays down. This is real bread, right?
Dude, pointing at Wonder Bread and being like, this is real bread. Oh. For anyone who doesn't understand these things, or doesn't know, different flours have different fat content. So, for example, if you've ever bought rye bread, rye bread is really good because it has a particular flavor and texture. But most rye bread that you buy is actually, they actually use some wheat flour as well, and as well as the rye flour, because the thing is, rye is really dense. Same thing with pumpernickel; it's really dense. So the breads don't have a lot of levity. So when you push down on them, there's nothing to help give them the bounciness. The bread that he points out, Dave's Killer Bread, which I actually really like Dave's Killer Bread. I was on a big kick of Dave's Killer Bread for a while because it's a protein bread. So there isn't a lot of fat in there, like butter and whatever, oils. And there aren't a lot of like leaveners in there. So it's a very dense bread. Flours that have higher protein in them relative to just carbs have a denser structure. They are more dense. This is one of the big problems for anyone who's ever tried to make things that are gluten-free. This is one of the biggest problems with making gluten-free cakes and breads. Gluten and the gluten strand structures that form when you are making bread, and as well as butters and sugars and all these other things, allow the bread to rise. When you make gluten-free things, there's not really anything there that's going to help it rise. And because what you're using is so dense, you can't form those same gluten strands. So it doesn't, gluten is free, no tariffs. So yeah, it literally has to do with like how flour works, how gluten works, how gluten strands work, how leavening works. Anyone who knows about the fake breads, they're breads that have a lot of fat in them and they have a lot of sugar in them, mostly because you want those to be shelf stable for a very long period of time. There is like an appeal for bread that just, you can have it for like a month and it's somehow still good. Again, because of the sugars in it, it stays good for a very long time because sugar and salt are preservatives, in addition to other preservatives that I'm sure they use. Same thing with butter. There's a reason that certain cakes are denser than other cakes. Angel food cake is really soft and fluffy and light because it has lots of leavening. Whereas like banana bread, which is like, or carrot cake, actually. Carrot cake is better. Carrot cake, which has a lot of other ingredients that aren't conducive to leavening, are very dense cakes. It has to do with what you put inside, how much fat is in there, how much sugar is in there. And that's why certain things bounce and other things don't bounce. Yeah, pound cake is dense as fuck. Yep. I live alone. I can never finish a rye loaf before it gets moldy. I know. I feel you. So boobs have a lot of leavening. That's true. That is actually true. But instead of like actually reading up on any of these things and being like, I wonder why this happens. I wonder why certain breads are bouncier than others. It's just like, no, this has to be fake and it's got to be foam and they're selling us foam. Okay. Sure, why not? Keep your bread in the fridge if it gets moldy. Well, no. If you are running into mold problems with bread, you should like remove half of it and put it in the freezer. You can even I will sometimes separate things with parchment paper so they're easy to grab. Refrigerating it makes it get stale. Technically, freezing is the best strategy. If you don't like freezing, you can, by the way, put it. I mean, there are some breads that I will leave in the fridge because I recognize that the process of staleness doesn't impact it as much. I find that pita bread I can leave in the fridge and it doesn't become that stale. But technically, you're supposed to freeze. You're supposed to freeze your bread. Also, bread is literally cheaper than foam. It's heavily subsidized. Yeah. No, I never said anything about eating around the mold. I'm saying if you run into problems with mold, you can never finish a loaf soon enough. As soon as you buy the bread, you should just put half of it away in the freezer. That way it won't get moldy. No, don't eat don't eat some bread that has mold on it. No, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Mold is, it can spread in things that are porous. So for example, cheeses, there are some cheeses that if a little bit of it gets moldy, you shouldn't eat the rest of it. But soft cheeses, with hard cheeses, technically you can just cut the mold off. Whereas with soft cheeses, if a little bit of your mozzarella cheese is moldy, you have to throw the whole thing out. I've started enjoying moldy bread after watching Aspen's stream. No, this is the one good Johnny CIA Harris video. This is before he went full, well, not before, but this was just a random break that he had with the CIA. This is a pretty decent video. It just talks about the difference between bakeries that are in Europe versus bread that's in the US. And it's not that you can't go to a bakery in the US. There's lots of bakeries in the US, especially if you live in a major city. But it's just the way that the bread is made is different because you want people to have access to different types of bread. Like, I will be honest, if you're making like oh, Wormy. Wormy. What are you looking at, Wormy? If you're making a like a PB&J, I feel like bad bread, like Wonder Bread works better. Whereas if you're making a French onion soup, I feel like you need to have like a nice bakery style like sourdough that's going to get hard in less than a day. Just different breads work for different things. It's not that one is better than the other. It's not that one is worse than the other. It's that, again, some breads just work better for different things.